Well, hello everybody. Pastor Randy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. Looking forward to being with you today. We're kicking off the week with a brand new teaching series. We have finally completed 5 things to watch for. Thank all of you for joining me for that. It was a multi-part study. This one won't be as long, but I want to introduce you to something that's important to me. And I pray that it'll be important to you, because as we look over these next several days, maybe a couple weeks together, in the beauty of simple. What does that mean? Why is it important? How does it apply to our lives? How does it apply to our spiritual walk and our relationship with God? Well, that's exactly what I want to explore. I want to look at several different topics within the confines of this, and then introduce you to this work that the Lord has allowed me to do. Why does this matter? Why simple? Well, I learned something many years ago. As I've shared with you in many of my teaching videos and introductions and what have you, for many years, I was in law enforcement. One of the key components of dealing with one another, even in high level, in high stress and dangerous situations, is simplicity. Stop. Don't. Whatever, turn around, all those kind of things. Those were very simple commands, right? Now, why did they matter? Because you were able to advance the situation to a conclusion, and hopefully prayerfully without somebody getting hurt. Okay, that was key in that world. We moved that over to ministry. We moved that over to the items of faith. One of the things that I have become a profound opponent of are those that try to make what we do complicated. Now, this may seem like a personal thing. Well, to me it is. Years ago, I began to develop a different style of teaching. Now, that does not say that I am right. That does not say that I am wrong. It is not about me trying to compare myself to anyone or to even differentiate myself from anyone, although it does. But rather, it is the intent of my focus. Why do we do this? What is the end result? What is the game? Where do we take this? All right? One of the critical parts, and I believe maybe one of the central parts of the work that I do as a pastor and part of my teaching style, is explaining words. Now, one might say, well, that kind of goes with the territory, don't it? Well, no, it does not. Not if you listen to all the stuff that's out there. Okay? Let me give you an example. If someone came before you right now, all right, whether via video or maybe they're on the platform in front of you, and this is how they start their conversation with you out. What we need to understand today is the anthropomorphical, salvific. You've already been lost. You have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, and they're not going to explain it to you. Simple, the word simple, it means easy to do or understand. Not complicated, but rather ordinary. So what we find is that by the definition alone, that's appealing. Easy to do or easy to understand. Not complicated, but ordinary. Regardless of the situation, simple always seems better. Now, I'm certainly not saying that there aren't difficult things in this life. I'm not saying that everything is as easy as ABC. I realize, for example, the equation to rocket fuel. Well, that's beyond my realm of understanding. I'll be the first to admit that, and I have all the respect for people in that world. However, that does not significantly impact my life. The gospel message does. The reality of life does. Whether we do or don't, have or have not flown in space or gone to the moon, that has no impact on me whatsoever. Zero. And if we're honest, it has no impact on any of us. It's a great accomplishment. It's a great thing to say. But if big words and manufactured ideas and long adhered to traditions keep us from understanding the things of God, well, that impacts my life right now. And even greater, it impacts my life for eternity. Because if it doesn't change me, or cause me to have a deeper understanding, or cause me to even want to have an understanding, then not only does it impact me, it impacts others. And that is why I take the approach that I do in teaching. That is why making it simple is so important. And so the beauty of simple, as we're doing this introduction today, is going to be a strategic method that we're going to look at through several different understandings of how, not just me, it's got nothing to do with me, but why we look at the model that Christ set before us. So this is not Pastor Andy. I didn't develop anything. Jesus shows us clearly by the way that he taught that the impact, the initiative, the inspiration, all the words that we can come up with, everything was all about one thing. He wanted to reach the people he was talking to. He wanted to make them understand that what he was saying was not complicated, that it was clear cut and dry. And we're going to go through it. We're going to look at stories that he told. We're going to look at people's lives that he impacted. We're going to search through this and understand something. See, when I was growing up, attending church, going to church on a Sunday morning, well, that was a staple part of your week. It was going to happen. In other words, my mother said that's what you do on Sunday, and there really wasn't any argument about that. As a child, okay, we do those kind of things. If you grow up, especially in my era, that was a very, very common thing. And so that wasn't weird. It didn't seem out of touch or whatever, any of that kind of stuff. It was just part of our lives. And again, I know I'm getting older and maybe from a different generation, and maybe some today don't see that. So again, that was not an unusual thing. But looking back on it now, and especially as I have gotten older, I realized I didn't know what they were talking about. And I would say that not just from the childlike perspective. Obviously, there are some things that children don't get. But the broad spectrum of it didn't make any sense to me. I went because my mom said I had to go. It wasn't because it was something I wanted to do. Because there was no personal connection there for me. It was a overly spiritual, religious, whatever. None of it made any sense. Why do I share that with you? Well, as we look at what we're going to start off with, the question, why simple? Why does that matter? Well, if we look at the teachings of Jesus, and that will be the core of what this teaching is all about, the beauty of simple. Jesus wanted people to understand. Now, there are those who are out there that teach that that's not true, that he spoke in circles so that everybody would be confused and that nobody would get saved. Well, I refute that in every possible way, because if we understand the stories that he told, the lives that he touched, clearly it was so that they would understand exactly what he was trying to get them to see. He spoke in ways that people could understand his point. Jesus was a storyteller. He was the master teacher. He used stories and illustrations that allowed people to place themselves in the scenario and see what he was explaining from the first person point of view. The emphasis was on the understanding and the simplicity in his communication. And what we find in that is it makes all of us feel understood and appreciated. And we need more of that in the world today. Not I'm on the outside looking in, but rather I'm on the outside looking in, but it's been made clear that I'm welcomed if I come in. That's what Jesus was trying to show. I just recently taught on Jesus being at the house of a Pharisee, and the woman in town who was a sinner saw that he was there. Why is that significant? Why does that matter? Join me tomorrow and I'll tell you. God bless you, friends. Have an awesome day. Thank you for joining me today. We're returning, making it simple, the beauty of simple. What does that mean? Share these next few weeks with me and I'll hope to help you understand. God bless you, friends. Have a great day.